Epilogue of The Other Side of the Door by Lucia Chamberlain. 2 years. All the experiences which I had gone through with such apparent lack of feeling, seemed to take their revenge on me at once. For a while I was very ill, delirious with fever, and when I was myself again and the doctor would let me be talked to, the new trial was all over, and Johnny Montgomery had been acquitted a week ago. It was Hallie, all smiles, with her hands full of roses, who brought this news in to me, and in a few days, she said, Jack Tracy had told her, Montgomery was going to leave the city. This set me wondering whether that night in the carriage and everything we had told each other then had been no more than part of my fever visions. At last I gathered courage enough to ask father if Johnny Montgomery had inquired about me. Father looked annoyed and said, yes, that he had been sending every day, and that he had asked if he might see me when I was able, but father said he had thought it best to refuse. That made me so miserable I began to be ill again, and the doctor was afraid I would have a relapse, so finally father gave his permission for me to see Johnny. It was strange and unreal to think that it was actually he, gaunt and white and serious looking, standing beside my bed and gazing down at me with timid eyes. We were both so glad to see each other we were a little afraid. The shadow of things that had happened was over us still and made us grave. I must have looked very thin, for he took my hand as if he thought it would break, and his voice was hardly above a whisper. He said whatever good came of him and whatever happiness he had hereafter he would owe to me, and that would be more than owing me his life. But father was right in saying that a man with the reputation he held in this city had no right to see or speak with me. He had only come to thank me and to say good-bye. He was going away to South America. "But father does not know you," I said, "and I am sure you are quite a different man from what any one here thinks you, and if you go away it will break my heart." At that he looked happier, and said if I felt that way he would go just the same, but it would make him want to come back again. And then perhaps he might be more the sort of man my father would give his daughter to. A friend of his father's, he said, had offered him an overseer's place in his mine in South America. And would I forget all about him in 2 years, he wanted to know? 2 years will seem a very long time, I said, but I shall remember you and wait for you forever. He smiled and said, "Those 2 years will be almost forever to me, but I have bought my chance, dear, and even the hope of such happiness is more than I deserve." And then I called father and told him. He was very grave, and said to Johnny, "It depends on you. If you can show yourself a different sort of man, and wipe out the record you have made for yourself, well then, I suppose she will be of age, and it will be your own affair. But I hope she will forget you." That was absurd. So I kissed Johnny good-bye, though father didn't like that at all, for it would help to make the 2 years shorter. End of Epilogue. End of The Other Side of the Door by Lucia Chamberlain.